Hey, bitch. It's JamiThatsMe here. Listen, we got to talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And I know I left y'all hanging with Real Housewives Salt Lake City reunion part 2, but we're going to get into that and part 3 on today. So make sure you guys are liking up the video and let's go ahead and get right on into that thing. So Angie and Meredith are talking about Angie not holding, I guess, Whitney accountable for the rumor like she did Meredith or whatever the case was. And it kind of led her and Meredith to go back and forth in this argument. Meredith was asked about why she wanted an apology from Sean still, and then they go on to talk about the audio because the whole conversation is about, the claims of Sean being out there with somebody else and who put the rumor out there on television versus who didn't put the rumor out there. And then Meredith wants to focus on the fact that, hey, listen, this man came on a podcast and tried to say that I was using my son as this, that, and the other, and I don't like it, and he is yet to apologize, and I have a problem. So it's just been a lot going on. Okay, of course they play the audio, and once they play the audio, we learned that Sean really didn't say that. It actually was a question that was like a leading question, as Andy said, right? Because that's more so how the interviewer felt. All right. But also Sean didn't disagree. So it is what it is. All right. The interviewer, no, Andy. Andy goes on to say that he feels like this is a huge waste of time. And when I tell you I chuckled because I can't believe Andy is saying that. And when I tell you it really pissed Meredith off, honestly, like, okay, Andy, well, you can think that is a waste of time, Andy. All right. But it's not to me. So she was upset. Sean still didn't apologize to her. He still expressed himself how he felt about the situation, and he still did not apologize. And I don't fault him for not apologizing. Okay. Meredith says that she never brought anything to the conversation. Monica did that. Monica was the one that brought it to the front. Angie says, well, that's just what Monica told me. Monica told me that it was you that said it. All right. And then Meredith is like, well, Monica told me that she didn't tell you that I said it or whatever. So the problem here is Monica. Monica's saying one thing over here, then Monica's going over here saying something else. Monica is the problem. The producers got in Andy's ear to say Angie is right. Monica did tell her on camera that Meredith said X, Y, and Z. Okay? That's what it was. And then Meredith gets upset. She stands up saying this is BS. I'm not here for this. Listen, I came here to get a piece of vindication. All right. So you guys better play the video and audio of, what she said about it not being me or me having anything to do with it. Or I'm done, and it was like, whoa, the fact that she thinks she could call shots like that, like, who you think you is, girl? But anywho, that's what happened. All right. So again, the problem is Monica. Monica said one thing, Monica said another thing, and that's where we are. So, all right. And I feel like Angie must have had additional reasons to believe that Meredith did say it, so she held on to it. Okay. There's that. All right. It's not really much resolve in that situation. I think that how you got to be okay with not getting a sorry. You got to be okay with what it is, and she's just gonna have to do that. He not gonna apologize to you, baby. You're gonna have to move on at some point, which is so funny considering how you tried to play that Jen Shaw conversation at the end of reunion part 3. Girl, go away from us. So Lisa and Whitney, all right. So the husbands at this time, they're good. All right. Of course, they got into a little scuffle. Whatever the situation was going to be, they are fine. Lisa was asked about the circle jerks comments that she made about Sean. I feel like she was out of line for that because your beef was with Whitney. So for you to just take Angie and throw her into it was very weird. Whitney does apologize to the both of them for insinuating any type of threesome rumors or whatever. She does apologize. And Meredith's husband appears to have doubled down on the whole Whitney comment of biatch, right? And he's gonna say, oh, well, if I see Seth out and about, or if I see John out and about, then I'd be like, what's up, biatch? Like, that's how I was saying it. I wasn't calling her a bitch the way Angie called my wife a bitch like 3 times. Okay, first of all, Seth, baby, you're deflecting. We caught it. You're deflecting. Number 2, you were talking to a woman. You weren't talking to a man at that time, so you already knew how it was going to come off. I think you probably were annoyed or whatever, which is why you called her a biatch. And then when Whitney says, so you're not sorry? He says, I did say it. I'm sorry. Like, it was like a damn here type of apology. That's what it was. So I guess let's just move on. Whatever. So Bronwyn and Todd. Bronwyn is lying through her pretty little teeth when it comes to Todd and his infidelity. She is trying to convince us, as she's convincing herself, as she needs to convince Todd that it was an emotional affair that he was having, and then turned around and said that it wasn't an emotional affair. Bye, Bron. Bye. Bye, girl. Bye, Bron, because I'm here for you, but not with that. All right. I can't do it. She first it's because to me it appears to have been physical, right? You started off how you talked about it, like, yeah, it was a text, but it was a text that your daughter saw that may have went a little too far because maybe he's gotten physical with this lady or something, right? Then you come to watch what happens live and you say, oh, well, it was more of an emotional situation. Then you get to the reunion stage and you've changed your mind yet again and you're telling us, oh, it wasn't even emotional. So, Bronwyn, I don't like when you do those things because you're trying to appease other people. I feel like Bronwyn is a people pleaser at times in my personal, and I just want her to let the shit roll off her tongue. Say what you mean and mean what it is that you say so that we do not have to question whether you're a fraud, whether you're fake, whether you're lying or you're not. Okay. So, anywho, that's what they're talking about. Heather was on her tail. Okay. Heather was on her ears. And she says, girl, did he do it or did he not? Did he do it or did he not do it? Bronwyn does admit that she thinks the convo with the women, may have gone too far. Like, I think it may have went too far. Then she flipped it to, oh, well, it's me. It's me. I'm the problem. What I'm saying is, guys, what I was trying to say is that, when things happen in life and this happens to me and this, that, I've had experience that made me just feel like I wasn't good enough. So it's more so me. I'm the problem. I feel like I'm not good enough. And I hate that you would even put some shit like that on you. At the end of the day, something was seen. He was doing something that was disrespectful to you. How is that your fault? How are you putting that on you? If you do feel like, oh, there are times that I feel like I wasn't good enough, in my opinion, he as a husband, it's his job to make you always feel that you are. So there's nothing that you can say to make Todd look great in this situation. Period. Okay? So bye, ma'am. We still here for you though. Just a little piece. Don't think that I've gone anywhere. All right. But I just had to come up to the front to collect you just a little bit. All right. So, anywho, Andy asked Todd to repeat the 5 commitments that he gave Bronwyn. He only repeated 4. Bronwyn remembered the last one, which was transparency. And I said, I guess. Okay. But I feel like Andy asked those questions to catch them in a lie. On the spot type of thing, but maybe he did make those commitments. All right. So Meredith is trying so hard to have smoke for everybody. It's crazy. Okay. So she tells Bronwyn about her pretty much like, girl, don't come for me, about me not supporting you with your situation if it's going to turn out to not be something that's that serious anyway. Now, listen, although I feel like Meredith is trying hard with the smoke, I don't disagree. All right. If you came at us like it was that big of a deal, only for you to turn around and say, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. So which one is it? Don't come for me like that, girl. All right. So another layer to this that Andy called out and clocked, and I'm glad that he did, was the fact that the daughter saw the message that he sent another woman. The story that Bronwyn told on the boat, I believe that story. All this other stuff, I don't believe it. She's doing what she needs to do. Damage control for that husband. And I do not believe it at all. Okay. When he found out that the daughter was the one that saw the message, he kind of looked confused a little bit like, huh? And Bronwyn gonna look at him talking about something. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. I'm like, what is that? What are we doing here? What? You're okay. What do you mean? Like, it was really, really weird. And I'm sure they had a long conversation on the way home about everything and probably still talking about it to this day. But yeah, so did he not know the daughter was standing over the shoulder? Now he's going to make sure when he's texting or doing what he's doing, he has a wall behind him. Okay. So I guess, but I'm glad Andy clocked that T, because Bronwyn, I do feel like you tried to lie yourself out of that situation and you missed that most important part. All right. It was weird. I just felt like you were contradicting yourself. Then you said that the text message, it was a very bad thing that was in the text message. It was something that was, I don't know if she said disrespectful or made her feel uncomfortable. Whatever it was, he shouldn't have been doing it, period. Okay? So, anywho, Todd goes on to talk about how all of this was difficult. He looked confused about the daughter's situation and her seeing him text another woman. And I just felt like Bronwyn and Todd were lying. Period. Mary speaks on her son, and it was a great conversation. It was a very emotional segment for pretty much all the ladies on the stage except for Meredith. Clock that. Meredith was the only one that was just looking. Meredith did not really shed a tear. I did not see Meredith shed a tear. Everybody has been affected in one way or another, right? And Meredith was the only one that didn't care. So at a later time when she acts like she does, I was like, girl, go ahead on. All right. So Meredith, yeah, we talked about her looking unmoved and things like that. She does tell Mary, like, I wish that you would have spoke with me about your son. I wish that I would have known. Like, I wish you would have told me, so that I could be there for you. Girl, you're not even really being there for her in this moment. So, okay. All right. Anywho, so Meredith runs down a list of things that people have called her in this group or whatever the case is. And I loved how they played the flashbacks of everything that she's called other people in this group. Since you want to do a running list, they gave us one. A mess. Anywho, that's all I really care about from Reunion Part 2. Let us talk about Reunion Part 3. Britani is joining the ladies at this time. I guess she thought she was supposed to make this grand entrance. And it's like, simmer down, little girl. Simmer down. I don't want to say little girl, but girl, sit down, okay? Just have a seat. We learned that she and Jared are broken up yet again because he can't stop texting the bitches. He can't leave the ladies alone. He was supposed to come and but he canceled his ticket, and that's because they broke up. Now, Bronwyn was asked about whether she felt like the Osmond name, like that's the only reason Britani was dating Jared Osmond was because his name was Osmond. And they asked if she still felt that way. And she was like, well, I don't know. I'll just say that she says she doesn't know, but she'll just say that, he's very treacherous or whatever. She was like, I think she said she probably shouldn't have said that. But at the end of the day, he's very disrespectful to women. He's very treacherous to women. And, I could read to you what he says or whatever. And I'm like, Bronwyn, I hear you, and I want to hear what you say that he told you, but at the same time, your husband is treacherous with you, I feel. But okay. So she reads the text, and when I tell you Jared went off unnecessarily in my personal. I don't think it was necessary at all the way that he went off, but whatever, child. So Britani says Jared did show her. Well, first of all, she said she was aware of the text message or whatever, so she didn't want Bronwyn to really read it. But Mary and I wanted to know anyway, so she read it. Now, Britani does say that Jared showed her support, or at least he did the show for her out of support for her. And I said, Britani, shut up. That man won't even stop talking to other women to support you, okay? To support your feelings. And you want me to believe that he actually did this show to support you? No, he did this show to support himself. He's an Osmond. And don't ever get it twisted. And just because he's an Osmond, like, let's not act like people that have a name or attached to a famous name or whatever like that, they don't be out here seeking clout too, still. Even though they have a big name, that don't mean nothing. So, girl, that man did that show for him, not necessarily for you. So she says she is she blames Bronwyn, y'all, for her not talking to her kids or her kids not talking to her. She tries to bring up somebody that said something to her kids based on something Bronwyn said. And at the end of the day, girl, I was with Andy and everybody else. You can't blame that on Bronwyn. You're going to have to blame that on yourself. Your kids were not fucking with you before this show. Even when they played a flashback to your casting tape, you said that your kids weren't talking to you and you laughed like it was a joke to you that your kids are not talking to you. Ha ha ha. What? And you get up here and you say you want to blame it on Bronwyn. Then you say, first you said it was like for 6 months they didn't talk to you. Then you said, I'm going to blame 3 of those months on Bronwyn. No, we need you to take full accountability for your fuck shit. And the fact that you continue to chase down a Nika instead of chasing down your daughters, okay? Get it out of here with that. Don't put that on that lady. I don't care what was said and somebody came and said something to your daughters. At the end of the day, it's your fault. That's on you. They choosing not to talk to you. Girl, what? Anywho, so Bronwyn and Lisa talk and they speak on her not being in the villa with Lisa like she wanted to be. And Lisa concocted some lie, in my opinion. I think that it made sense. But the fact that you're mentioning it now, why you didn't say that then when she confronted you about it? So Lisa says that she got, she says, knowing Bronwyn had those dog bites, I wanted to give her a room where, she could have a room in another villa just as big as mine. I don't believe you, girl. I don't believe you, girl. I don't believe that at all. You didn't learn about them dog bites till you got there. So what, you must have switched the rooms once y'all got to the resort? That's possible, but I don't think that was your initial intent. But okay, so Bronwyn explains the dog bites, which is crazy, okay? How the dog start biting her, how you're not supposed to react a certain way. And I guess just let them continue to gnaw on your damn arm. The fuck out of here, girl. Me and that dog gonna be fine. Period. Okay, you bite me, I'm biting you. Period. Don't you picture? We gonna both be chewing down. Okay, I'm gonna chew you, you gonna chew me, we gonna be chewing. I fights dogs too. Okay. So but Bronwyn sat up there and decided to be that dog chew bone for that day, or that chew toy for that day. And she said she did not sue the person. That was very irresponsible and careless when it came to the dog. She said instead what she did was, I guess, pay for some type of help for the dog and get the dog over to a farm so that they can, away from other animals, right? So that, he can get the care or whatever it is that he needs. Let me tell you, I feel like that speaks to her character a bit, because I'm like, that's really nice of you, because I would have paid to have that little motherfucker euthanized. Do you understand me? Okay, I would have paid to have him killed. You chew me, it's no more life. It's no more life for you. You done sat up here and chewed on me like this. I'm gonna have these marks forever. You won't be here forever. Okay, so I would have paid to put his ass down. Period. But you're very kind-hearted, very nice of you to not have sued that person and to also take care of things for that person. Okay, because Bronwyn clearly was saying we don't need the money. All right, so that's that. Okay. Lisa and Angie, so of course it's their time. Lisa felt like Angie was coming for her, the way she said that she knew about Bronwyn or something like that. Let me see. Lisa felt like Angie was coming for her, the way she said she knew about Bronwyn. Lisa says that she was just trying to, okay. She was just trying to bring peace. Okay, so that's what it was. I can't remember what the first part was, but basically, there's a time when they're talking, and Lisa says that she was trying to pretty much be a bridge for Meredith and Angie to get over their issues, right? And that's what their conversation was about. I said that I agree with Lisa when she said Angie has been on. Oh, yes. Okay, so let's go back just a little bit. So there was a time in the show when Angie says that she felt like she knew more about Bronwyn than she did about Lisa. Right. And Lisa was just like, girl, why are you taking a dig at me? Like, you the one that also said we sit on the phone all night, all day. So obviously, if we're spending that much time on the phone as friends for the past few years, then you should know more about me than you know about Bronwyn. And I feel like you're taking a dig at me. And that's shady as hell. When all I was trying to do was be a bridge in between what you and Meredith got going on. Okay. So they talked about that. And then Bronwyn says that Lisa only takes things serious when it's about her. Listen, that's true. You're right. You're right. She doesn't always take it serious. Lisa often operates with a victim mentality where me. This happened to me. I feel away. Oh my God, how dare you? Me. She does do that. She does. She tried to pull a stunt like that, and then Bronwyn had to clock her back at a later time and tell her, like, girl, listen, you just sat up here and pulled out some receipts trying to expose me. Okay? But everybody's been coming up against you. Let's not and say that we did. All right. So, anywho, Lisa highlights when she defended Bronwyn, and then says that she got mind fucked when Bronwyn decided to come on the show and bash her husband in so many words. And Bronwyn says, girl, don't come at me like that, honey, because understand, I can say whatever it is that I want to say about my husband, bitch, and know that. And Lisa said, and that's fine, and you can, but I'm just saying, though, like, girl, don't be trying to hold me accountable for your switch ups. I said, ooh, that's a good one. Okay. So Bronwyn highlights when she's had Lisa back, because Lisa said, and matter of fact, when have you ever had my back? And then Bronwyn said, girl, don't play with me. When Angie and Whitney was at your neck, I was defending you. Okay. So of course they played that. So Brittany and Meredith, it's their time, all right, to have a conversation, and they talk about the whole what Brittany heard Meredith doing in the other room and all of that, and Meredith felt the way that Brittany was trying to insinuate that she was bulimic and everything. And Brittany's like, listen, I used to have an eating disorder or something like that when I was younger. I would never like just put that accusation out on somebody, like, stop playing or whatever. When I tell y'all Meredith started yelling at this lady, I felt like Meredith was over talking Brittany because she didn't want nobody else to hear her truth or whatever the case was. I don't know what, but Meredith, girl, you were doing too much. Tone it down. And now it is questioning and making me think that, I don't know, like, girl, I don't know if you want some OZ or if you are just not eating. I don't know what you got going on. But anywho, so Brittany was definitely recording these ladies. We do get to that conversation. And when they do the flashback, Brittany did give multiple lies about what she was doing. Okay. And it looks like she was just recording those ladies and she got that tea clocked and she felt a way about it. All right. So when they talked about her being yelled at and stuff, she's like, oh my God, yeah. And I still have not recovered from that to this day. And Mary said, well, girl, it's done. It's over with. Okay. And hopefully you are too. Girl, Mary. Mary, you are funny, honey. You are funny, honey, but I do feel like you feel the same way as many of us, okay? Meredith has talked with Jen Shaw. Let's get to that. We learned that Meredith has talked to Jen Shaw, and as she's explaining, Whitney said, wait a minute. Wait, isn't that like no different than me talking to Monica? Right? And then Meredith says, yes, well, it is different. It's different because, you know, of course, Jen Shaw went to prison for it. She's serving her time. She's paid her restitution. Like, there's a difference. She called me. I can't call her. Girl, stop lying. You know what that lady's saying. Stop playing. Stop playing. Y'all both have had conversations with somebody that has crossed this group, period. If you ask me, it's just as wrong. Okay, the way y'all was about to jump down the damn throat of Whitney over Monica, y'all need to jump down Meredith's throat over Jen Shaw. But I also feel like it may be a bit different because they came into this show with Jen Shaw versus Monica, all right, who they may have felt like was more of a clout chaser of something. Whereas with Jen Shaw, she is a part of it. She helped put this show on the map just a bit. So maybe they feel a little differently about her, right? So when the girls start coming at her, Meredith is like, well, what do you want me to do? What do you want her to do? All right. She's like, you know, do you want me to just let it go? And like, do we not give second chances? Is that what it is? I said, bye, Meredith. Bye, girl. Because were you not trying to give Angie a second chance just a second ago? Were you not trying to give her husband a second chance just a second ago? Weren't you holding on to some things that were said about you from last season? Right? You don't let it go. So why should they not be on your head about it? All right. So anywho, Mary says, girl, Jen blamed you and me for why her ass is locked up right now. Okay. And if I were you, I won't be talking to her. And a lot of people say, yeah, I won't be talking to her. Like, no, ma'am. Like, if she tried to blame me for why she's locked, yeah, I'm not talking to her. And y'all know what Meredith did? The famous Meredith shrug. Okay. All right. It is what it is. So let's get to Lisa and Whitney. Of course, they're arguing back and forth about the rumors and everything, whatever. They never got a chance to truly hash their issues like everybody else did when it came down to exposing, you know, your worst text messages or whatever, right? Lisa did not seem like she was willing to let up on Whitney. She does not want to forgive Whitney. And Whitney, at some point, you're going to be looking crazy, Lisa, if Whitney forgives you and she moves on, you still own it. Similar to Meredith, okay? So, everybody keeps jumping into the conversation when Whitney is trying to talk directly to Lisa, so much so that Whitney starts to get loud, and and Lisa tells her stop yelling at her, and I'm like, I don't think she's really yelling at you. It's just that everybody keeps jumping in when she's trying to resolve this with you, and it leads to no resolving because Bronwyn has a bone to pick with you as well. So that's why she's loud. She's trying to overtalk the people that are talking. So Lisa is feeling away, and I understand that because it was so much commotion. And I think Lisa even said that, why are you all of you guys are coming at me with all of this and like, dang, can I process? Can I get through my thoughts? And I'm like, girl, you ain't lying. Okay, because it's too much going on. Right. So Lisa tells Whitney to let her talk or whatever. She says, listen, my issue is that my family, I have a large family. They don't give a fuck about me. I could be getting trafficked and these people would not give it. They want to turn their head, blink an eye. All right. When it comes to my husband and my sons, that's my family. I hold them very close, very dear to me, as you should yours. Okay. So when you say anything or anybody's coming up against them, I'm going to have a problem. All right. Because if my larger family doesn't care for me, I know without a shadow of a doubt, those people do. And I'm very protective of my family and don't play with us like that. All right. So she was very hurt. And then she goes on to talk about, oh, you know, I was very hurt by this group and all of this and that. And that's when Bronwyn ends up clocking that tea just a little bit. She tells her, girl, you just try to pull a text out on me. You over here talking about you being very hurt by this group. Well, what about the stuff that you've done to this group, i.e. me? Okay, so go away from me with this. Now, Whitney did go over there trying to sit down next to Lisa and talk to her. Meredith even tried to explain to her where Lisa was coming from. Meredith was more so using herself as an example, but it was like, we ain't on you right now, girl. We on Lisa and Whitney, okay? But anywho, there's that. Now, after they do go back and forth, Lisa does tell Whitney, like, despite everything that we deal with and we go through, I do love you. Okay, so that was a really good moment. All right. And then Whitney says ditto. So, of course, they resolve it. But Lisa says, listen, you try this again, then I'm on your head top. Okay, it's back ignited. And then Whitney said, and if you call me a liar again, then I'm back on that ass. Okay, so consider it ignited. Okay, I was like, okay. All right, then, ladies. All right. I'm glad y'all kind of got some type of resolve. So that's good. Thank God. All right. They send Miss Brittany on by her business. It's time to say goodbye. So Andy gives all of the ladies a chance to say something really nice about each other. And I will say this is a time where I don't think it would have been bad if Brittany would have stayed around for that segment. Okay. And I say that because she was there for it. She was there in the final scene when everybody has said some things. Okay. So I think they could have let her stay. She was back there behind the scenes and she says, I should be out there. Like, oh my God, I want nice things said about me too. Or whatever. And I was glad she didn't try to storm the stage or anything, just come back anyway. But I don't think she was wrong. I think that would have been a nice moment for her potentially. But anywho, Meredith says that she hasn't seen it when she's talking to Angie. She says, I haven't seen it, but based on your relationship with Mary, I could tell that you're a good friend. You could be a good friend. I said, girl, that is some shade. Now we supposed to be saying something nice and you trying to be funny to let her know you still don't see it for her, but maybe. I guess Meredith. But Angie tells her, despite us going back and forth, I actually like Meredith. I actually do. So we'll see how that's going to work out. Everybody seems to be okay. It was a really cute moment for them to say very nice things about each other. It got very emotional. Andy told Mary the nice things he wanted to say about her, and it was just super nice. And I enjoyed it. All right, so congratulations to all of the ladies, producers, the entire team over there at Real Housewives Salt Lake City, because you guys gave us a really great season and we truly, truly appreciate it, okay? That's all that I have for you guys at this time. You can continue the conversation down below. Leave your thoughts about everything. I'm Jami, that's me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith.